Hey there YouTube, California Prepper here again. Wanted to do a video on some non-lethal home defense options you have. Here in California, I have a couple buddies of mine that I talk to. I work graveyard at a convenience store from 11:45 at night to 7:30 in the morning. And there's quite a couple cops that come in there and, get their free coffee and stuff. So at night, I ask them, questions, pertaining to, what would happen if this or that, and some of their answers are actually quite scary. One of the cops that I talked to, there was an incident where two kids came in and went straight to the back with their hoods on. Both of them grabbed two 24 packs and were headed for the door. And I told them, hey, you guys head out that door. I gotta call the cops. I'm sorry, because our store has a strict you cannot have any physical contact. You can't anything. All you can say is, are you gonna pay for that? If they say no and walk out the door, you just get on the phone and you make a report of it. They do not want you putting yourself in danger, I guess. So if you guys want to go to any store you want and steal, head to my store. They don't do anything. No, I'm just kidding. Do not do that. Anywho, so the kids took off. I called the cops. The cop came out, and it was actually the same cop that had been out there multiple times. And I asked him, so if you guys do catch these kids, what are you going to do? And he says, most likely, with all the cuts we have, because I live in California, and we've been hit pretty hard with cuts. Jerry Brown is not doing it. He didn't do a good job in the 80s. I don't know why he's back in there now, but I guess Whitman wasn't a much better choice. But hopefully we'll make it around for next year or for the next election. So, like I was saying, California, we've been hit hard with these budget cuts, especially on our fire departments and our police forces. So, the little town I'm in, which is it's a college town. It's not real little, but the crime's going up. Every time you read the newspaper, somebody else is getting stabbed on the bike path or beat up or jumped. I mean, just in the last maybe 3 months, on the news, there's been a couple shootings, a couple carjackings, people getting, kidnapped, and people jumping out of cars and running down the street and jumping into a cop's car, because he barely got out of the kidnapper's vehicle. I mean, things are getting crazy, and it's never been like that here. So the time to protect yourself is here. And when I was talking to this officer, I asked, so what's going to happen to these kids? And he says, honestly, with all the cuts and everything, and with the new proposition that we have that we're releasing all non-violent inmates that aren't in for violent crimes, most likely they're going to get a ticket maybe and have to, do some community service. And I said, really? So, if I want something, I can just go into a store and take it with, and if I do get caught, then all I have to do is, pick up some trash on the side of the road or, go to the animal shelter and, pay a $100, $200 ticket. Wow, that's really going to teach these kids. And you wonder why they turn out to be career criminals, And I said, and he looked me square in the face and he says, you know who we arrest? It's people like you, the working class, the man with the family, the man that is going to do whatever he has to, pay whatever fines he has to, do whatever class he has to, whatever he has to do to stay out of jail. Those are the guys that we arrest, because we know you guys are going to pay the money, you're going to do the programs, which every class is $75 to $150, depending on which class or how many you have to take. A lot of them are 52 weeks minimum. So, they're raking in money, and they're letting, the criminals that they're just gonna, I just couldn't believe it. It just knocked me off my feet when I heard this. And the next thing I heard from him, and I said, well, how can we protect ourselves from this? I had been walking to work when I had still worked the day shift. I was walking to work, and I was headed there at 8:30, and two young gentleman approached me and tried having me, give him my backpack and my wallet, and because there was two of them and one of me, and I'm sorry, but I'm not a pushover. I'm not going to give you my hard-earned money and my hard-earned things. You're going to have to take them from me by force. So what did I have on me at the time? At that time, my EDC was just a knife. This knife here. This was the only EDC I had. That's what I carried. And this is when I talked to the cop, that's when all this changed. So I'm telling him this, and he says, I told him, yes, there's these two guys that tried, robbing me down here and get me for my stuff, at broad daylight in the morning, on my way to work. And I had to pull out my knife, and I backed into the street, and, a couple cars stopped in the road, and, they followed me out, but they eventually, just gave up. They knew I wasn't going to roll over, and, told me, oh, I'll catch you on the flip side. Yeah, I'm not worried about it, But thank goodness I had this, because that was my only equalizer to that. And when I told the cop that, he said, using that, you would have been arrested, right? And I said, how? The knife's not illegal. He said, no, the knife's not illegal. There's nothing illegal about the knife. He said, but using this, when you can use these, it doesn't matter. The jury's going to look at you and say, well, why didn't you, yeah, there was two of them and one of you, but you still should have defended yourself first. Pulling out a knife just like that to keep yourself from getting jumped and robbed, I would have been arrested also and charged. And if these people would have got hurt, I would have had, could have been liable for a lawsuit or whatever, And it really irks me that these criminals have so many rights anymore that they can do whatever they want to us, but if we defend ourselves, we get in trouble, and they could sue us for it. People can break into your house, you shoot them in the leg, and they can sue you for it. I just can't believe that's how America works anymore, and that's really sad. So after we continued this conversation, I asked the cop, so, well, what do you suggest? I work 11:45 to 7:30 in the morning, and I ride my bike to work, which is, 10 miles away on the other side of town. I don't have a vehicle right now, so I ride my bike back and forth. I run into the weirdest of the weird during those hours, and what am I supposed to do to protect myself? Because I have a family, I have 2 young kids and a wife that depend on me to work and to pay the bills. I can't be getting arrested for protecting myself and trying to save my own life. So what can I do to protect myself? And he said, get yourself pepper spray, tasers. These are illegal to carry in California. You cannot carry a bat, because anything like that, it looks like you're out looking to hurt somebody, I guess, which I don't understand why I can carry this, but not this. You'd think, that it would be a little different, but that's just how California works, I guess. So I went and I bought me and my wife both, because some pepper sprays. I got a couple for the house, and we also have a bigger thing of pepper spray, but it's actually for bears, and you actually would get in a lot more trouble using this than this on a person, because I guess that's it's worse because it's so strong. I guess it's like cruel and unusual punishment, overkill, I guess, on a person. But to tell you the truth, if you're trying to kill me and I have to use that, I'd rather, that saying, you can always walk out of prison, you can't walk out of a cemetery. So, that's how I see it. So, this is what I went to, the steps I took to protect myself from getting in trouble for protecting myself, if that makes sense. I went and I got us both these little keychain pepper sprays, and we have multiples of these. There's multiples hidden around the house. My wife carries one on her keys all the time, and I carry one on my keys all the time. We also have 2 of these around my house. They're a bigger pepper spray. It's a more of a at-home size, and I've sprayed them all just so I know how the streams are and exactly how to use them. Always buy 2 of something so you can practice with 1. You guys really have to know how these things spray and how they come out, because some of them are not a good spray. They'll come out a straight line and you can barely hit somebody. You got to make sure that these things are actually gonna do the job and work when you need it. I know one time I pulled one out and tried spraying it, and it was a dud. It was broken. It would not spray, and luckily I was testing it out, or I would have been in real trouble if I had to use it. So make sure to try them out. If you get one, make sure to buy a separate one just to practice with, and see how the spray comes out and the pattern and all that. Next off, we have, these are one version of the tasers we have. These are 900,000 volts. We also have 200 million volt ones. That's what they say. I'm not sure how I can test that, but that's what the boxes say. That's when I ordered them offline. So they have a little flashlight on them. They have a little taser. They actually are rechargeable. The charger pops right out of the back. You plug it right into the wall. So, get home, plug it in right with your phone. As long as you're not, they last for quite a long time. I had a few other versions that seemed a little sturdier, but they had buttons here, and they all ended up falling inside and just rattling around. And that's the last thing you want, is touching a circuit board of a taser on accident. So these things are great to have. I think I bought a lot of 8 of them. So here's 3. I gave one to my mom, and so I think I have about 4 of them, other ones, hidden around my house. So wherever you are, my wife is, if she's home alone, she can. If she can't get to one of the guns and she's stuck somewhere, she can at least get to one of these. Or we also have a couple extra pepper sprays hidden around the house also. Needless to say, there's also pocket knives and whatnot. We keep everything up because we have 2 small kids, but it is in every room where they can't get to it, but we can. Next, who doesn't have the baseball bat? I love this baseball bat. I've had this since I was a teenager. Never had to use it on anybody, but it sure is intimidating. It's lighter than heck because it's aluminum. Plus, there's no cap. So this thing is light. You can swing this, and the recovery time from this is nothing at all. Not only can you hit them this way, can you imagine taking the blunt end of that to the face? That's going to do some damage. So, if I can't get to my gun and I'm at my house and I can get to this, you're still going to be hurting, buddy. And then, I guess these are illegal in California, but I had a buddy of mine who had one, and he gave it to me, and I just keep it on the shelf. But it's a Smith & Wesson police baton. It's I believe it's 21 inches. It's cold rolled steel or something like that. I'm not positive. That's what the box said. But it's really strong to get these things in. Most of the time you have to beat them on the ground, and it's a real pain in the ass. But they're stronger than heck and real durable. But I'm just real cautious about using this because, like I said, they are illegal in California, and you just don't know. I've seen some cases in California where, you're like, really? It's just unbelievable. So, the laws in California aren't the same as everywhere else. So, sorry the video went on for so long, guys, but I couldn't believe what I heard from my officer friend when I heard all this, and I just had to give you guys a little heads up on it and give you guys maybe a couple other ideas to save yourself from a lot of trouble in the end from just trying to protect you and your family. So, if you have any other ideas, questions, or comments, please leave them at the bottom. Thank you.